everyone. I'm Dan Filgreen, and this is Shell Point Today for Thursday, June 5th. On today's show, FineMark Bank teaches us the difference between a joint owner and an authorized signer. Kevin May tells us about the big job of coordinating housekeeping at the Woodlands. And we'll also hit the road with Frank Main and his unique roadster, the Cadillac XLR. And speaking of hot cars, are you signed up for the trip to the Revs Institute? Sounds like some kind of scientific test facility, but actually, it's a museum of some of the finest European sports cars ever made, going all the way back to 1896. You'll see Porsches, Packards, Pierce Arrows, Jaguars, Maseratis, antique Mercedes, Ferraris, and even an original Model T. And all this amazing automotive history is right here in Naples. Space is limited, so join the trip to the Revs Institute, leaving Tuesday, June 17th at 12:15 p.m. Of course, most of you will not be racing Maseratis anytime soon. It's a victory just to keep our own driving skills up to par. But we've got a class that can help you do that, and even save money on your car insurance in the process. It's the AARP Smart Driver course. You'll get a refresher about the rules of the road in Florida, and learn some tips about your car that will make driving easier. Most car insurance companies will reduce your premiums for 3 years after taking this course. And even the course itself is discounted if you're an AARP member. The AARP Smart Driver course happens Monday, June 9th, starting at 9 a.m. in the Grand Cypress Room. Sign up by calling the Island Service Desk at 454-2282 or the Woodlands Service Desk at 454-2054. From planning your driving to planning your finances, we now have a word from FineMark National Bank and Trust. What is the difference between the joint owner of an account and an authorized signer? Anna Smith is here to tell us more.
Hello, I'm Anna Smith, Managing Executive for FineMark National Bank and Trust on the island. In today's FineMark Minute, we're talking about the difference between an authorized signer and a joint owner on an account. These two phrases are often thought to be interchangeable. However, signer and owner have very different meanings. Many people choose to have an authorized signer in the case of an emergency. For example, an authorized signer for a checking account is allowed to sign checks, make withdrawals, and in some circumstances, they may be privy to other information such as account balance and activity. This individual may also hold a power of attorney from the owner of the account, although that's not always necessary. An important note to remember is that an authorized signer's privileges are only legitimate while the account owner is alive, and if the account owner were to die, those privileges would cease. A joint owner with the right of survivorship, on the other hand, owns the funds in the particular account and has all rights to the funds, including removing the funds and closing the account. For this reason, it is important to truly know and trust the other joint account owners on your account, as they have the same rights to the funds that you do. If you have any questions about whether you are an owner or an authorized signer on an account, just give us a call at FineMark on the island at 239-461-5999 or stop by and talk with us in person. With today's FineMark Minute, I'm Anna Smith.
We now have an important announcement about the Resident Quarterly Meeting, which is happening tomorrow. Because the church auditorium is under renovation all summer, we've moved the location to the Grand Cypress Room. So bring your questions for President Peter Dice to the Resident Quarterly Meeting. And note the new time and location. It's happening tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. in the Grand Cypress Room at the Woodlands. And if you miss it, don't worry. We will be rebroadcasting it all next week on Channel 12. You know, keeping the Woodlands clean is a huge job. That's why the Woodlands has its own property manager, Kevin May, who looks after the residences and common buildings and all the housekeeping staff. We asked Kevin about how they keep the Woodlands looking its best.
Hi everybody, it's Jared Pike here with Shell Point TV, and with me is Kevin May, the property manager for the Woodlands. How are you today, Kevin?
Doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. Now, we're here in the Woodlands because both communities, Island and Woodlands, have their own property manager. And Kevin is exclusively for the Woodlands here and Eagles Preserve, is that right?
That's correct.
Why don't you describe for me kind of what are your responsibilities? What are your general responsibilities for Shell Point?
Well, I do oversee the housekeeping for the Woodlands and Eagles Preserve, so that's inside the apartments and the outside of the apartments as well, the cleanliness of the buildings.
And you told me that you're often on patrol around the neighborhood.
Yes, that's right. Residents can see me either walking through the garages or on the golf cart, riding around, just making sure everything is in order.
That's great. And Kevin is also in charge of the housekeepers themselves. So if you live in the Woodlands or Eagles Preserve, your housekeeper is under Kevin's command. So what specific things are challenges for you here? There are lots of people that live in these high-rise buildings. What are your day-to-day challenges?
Day-to-day challenges would include dealing with the lovely Florida humidity, just making sure that the green algae and buildup is taken care of on the outside of the buildings, on the walls and everything. Making sure that the housekeepers are on time to each apartment, making sure that they're getting in on time and out on time as well.
That's great. Now, for those who don't live in the Woodlands, the trash rooms here, they have a trash chute, and they also have some recycling bins. So talk about disposing of things at the Woodlands.
All right, as far as the refuse rooms, they are located on every floor. So you're going to be putting all your recycles in any bin. It doesn't matter, you don't have to split them up. You can put newspaper and cans and plastics all in the same bin. And for trash, it's going to be all down the trash chute, and that includes plastic shopping bags. Those are going to go down the trash chute, not in the recycle.
Okay, so you don't have to separate paper and glass and plastic and all that stuff.
Exactly.
You can put it all in the same blue recycling bin, but don't put trash in the recycling. So no food items, no plastic bags or trash bags in that recycling bin. Keep it just to the items that can be recycled. And let's just kind of briefly go over what can be recycled.
It can be anything from newspapers, magazines, cans, bottles,
phone books, all of that stuff can go in the same bin in the trash rooms, whether you're at the Woodlands, Island, or Eagles Preserve. Now, are there things that residents here at the Woodlands can do to kind of make the housekeeping process easier or more smooth? Things that you want residents to know about your job and about your housekeepers?
Yeah, I mean, one thing they can do to make the process smoother for the housekeepers is they can, pick up all their chairs, they can pick up all the rugs, the area rugs, help them out so that way they can just go in and clean the floor, vacuum as needed, and also removing any items from the countertops. That way housekeepers don't have to clean around them. They can just do a nice, clean, quick sweep through there. So
that's great. And how many housekeepers do you have on staff?
Currently in my department, for housekeepers and housekeeping techs, there are about 32.
Wow. That's a lot. Well, there's a lot of apartments. How many apartments are there?
Between the Woodlands and Eagles Preserve, there's almost 500.
Wow.
So.
That's amazing. So it's a lot to keep track of, and they come once a week.
Right. Yep. So once a week, every week. So we never miss a time. Want to make sure they're always there.
That's great. And Kevin keeps those schedules, and it's a very important part of life here at Shell Point. And so we want to make sure that not only is your apartment clean, but the entire community as well. So recycling, put all your recyclables in the bin. Trash goes in the trash chute. And if people have questions about anything housekeeping related or maintenance related, there's a phone number they can call.
Yeah, it's going to be 2190. One call does it all.
454-2190.
Exactly.
And then if they have specific Woodlands related questions, then what?
If they have specific questions, they can see me in my office. It's in the Commons area. My door is always open, and my number is 454-2056.
Well, Kevin, thanks for joining us today. And housekeeping, as he said, is a big, big deal here at Shell Point, as is recycling and just keeping the community clean. It's one of our hallmarks. So this is Jared Pike for Shell Point TV.
Here at Shell Point TV, we love doing stories about interesting and unique cars. So when we heard that someone at Shell Point owned a Cadillac, we thought, so what? Lots of people have Cadillacs, but not this kind. It's a Cadillac XLR, a two-seat roadster built on a Corvette frame, and with a unique folding hardtop, something that Corvettes have never had. Plus, it has 443 horsepower, which makes its owner, Frank Main, a very happy man.
I was born in Birmingham, Michigan. I was raised in Jackson, Michigan, and lived there all my life. My only real job is there, manufacturing precision machine components for aerospace. My first car was a 1950 Chevrolet two-door sedan that I bought for $75 when I was 16 years old. Through the years, I've owned 6 Corvettes. And then, I had a Brooklyn, which was a gull-wing coupe car for a few years. And about the same time, I bought the first XLR here for my neighbor that lived right across the atrium from me. It's the XLR. I think that stands for Experimental Luxury Roadster. It's basically a Corvette frame, Corvette brakes, and that type of thing. But the engine is, they've always had a Cadillac engine in them. And this has the same Cadillac engine as a standard 2008 DeVille, except this is a XLR-V, and the V stands for supercharged. So this has a supercharger on it, and that brings the engine horsepower up to 443 horsepower, which is a lot for a little two-seater like this. In fact, it's about the same, almost the same horsepower as a standard Corvette today. I'll take you for a ride. It'll throw you right back in the seat. Yeah, it moves. Somebody pulls up beside me and they rev up the engine on their Camaro or their hot Thunderbird, you know, and this thing will just walk. I mean, this thing is just 443 horsepower in a small light car is plenty. It's a supercharged, and the supercharger runs all the time, no matter what RPM. And so you have an immediate acceleration when you put your foot on the gas pedal, and it goes. What makes it a special car, it was far advanced when they built the first one in 2004. And it even had a braking system that now some manufacturers are saying is really far advanced, but it had a braking system that in that car I could follow the car in front of me, and I could dial in how many car lengths I wanted to follow. It would follow that car. If it slowed down, my car would slow down. And if it came to a stop, my car would pull up behind it and stop. So it was pretty far advanced. This has, of course, heads-up control that you look into the windshield and you see part of the dashboard right up there. It's very, very comfortable on the road. It's a soft ride, but not too soft, because the car will corner, and it stays quite flat when it corners. One of the big features of the car is it has an aluminum roof that completely folds into the trunk, and this makes the sleekest looking Roadster. It's quite an engineering job to get it to work the way it is. Pretty cool.
Wow.
I just think the styling was advanced. In fact, you see some cars today, I think that the new Camaro has some of the lines from the old XLR, and the new Corvette even has kind of the back window and the back shape of an XLR. So, and then this one came, as you see it, with the beautiful chromes and and you get looks, and you get people that say, wow, nice car, and some people say, is that the new Cadillac they just came out with? So you get a lot of different looks, and especially with the top down, it's so sporty looking. Except my dermatologist doesn't want me to have the top down, but other than that, why? The car never sold a lot of vehicles. It was never a high producer. Just quite a unique car. I think they should have kept making them, but they put a lot of work into designing this car, and I think it's more of a beautiful sculpture than it is a Corvette race style.
If you know of a unique car you'd like to see featured on ShellPoint TV, give us a call and let us know at 489-8431 or email jaredpike@shellpoint.org. For now, it's time to cover all of Thursday's happenings. Then stay tuned for your Academy News, menus, and Village Church Connections.
Hello everyone, I'm Leslie Brand and I'm here with Bev Chanley, and we're here to go over all the activities for Thursday. At 7:15, we have a Health Connections, Bend, Breathe, and Balance at the Health Club on the island. 8 o'clock, Men's Golf Association at the ShellPoint Golf Club. Also at 8 o'clock is the Round Robin Doubles Tennis at the tennis courts of the Woodlands. 8:30, Paddlers Club will be at the Kayak Storage. 9:15, Shuffleboard at the Shuffleboard Courts. 9:30, current events will be at the Game Room of the Woodlands. Also at 9:30 is a ladies' match play at the tennis courts. And lastly at 9:30, Samba the card game at the Sabre Room of the Woodlands. 9:45, introduction to beginning line dancing will be at the Health Club on the island. 10:15, basic line dancing will be at the Health Club. 10:30, the Susie Q is going to Lighthouse Restaurant for lunch. Sign up is required. Now here's Bev for the afternoon activities.
Thanks, Leslie. We're going to start out at 12:45 for Mahjong. That's played in the Library Lounge on the island. And then at 1:15, we have the ShellPoint's own theater, play readers, spot we call it, and they'll be in the Osprey Room on the island. 1:30, we have a Health Connections class, Aqua Pilates Stretch. That's in the Life Quest Aquatic Center. At 2:45, we have another Health Connections class, Balance and Mobility Training Level 2. That's in the Health Club and is currently full. We're going to jump to 4 o'clock where our seamstress will be here for her weekly service. She'll be in the Osprey Room on the island. We have a 4:30 Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. That'll be in the Sable Room at the Woodlands. Also at 4:30, we have indoor bocce in the Health Club on the island. You'll find Pinochle being played in the Library Lounge at 6:30. And then at 7 o'clock, we have the Trailblazers Bible Study. That's in the Game Room of the Woodlands. We're so glad you joined us today, and we'll see you back here tomorrow for the weekend edition.
Hello, I'm Terry Kolath with your Academy information for Thursday. Court pickup begins at 7 o'clock on the island for Academy on the Go educational field trip to the center for grade 8s. At 1:15, Skype Basics Windows 8 applications will continue in the Computer Teaching Center on the island.
Menus for Thursday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is chicken marsala with herb-infused rice and asparagus. The dinner special is the Crystal Carving Board for $12.95, and the soup of the day is country cabbage. In the Island Cafe for lunch on Thursday, the special is a teriyaki chicken sandwich with pineapple and French fries for $7.25. The dinner special is Thai night for $8.25. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill on Thursday are ribeye for $19.95 or stuffed shells for $13.95. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Greetings and welcome to Village Church Connections. Great Commission Sunday. It's more than just a tradition. It's a celebration of what God is accomplishing through the worldwide work of the Christian Missionary Alliance as we seek to introduce men, women, and children to the love of Jesus. This year we've designated Sunday, June 8 as Great Commission Sunday. It's an opportunity for us to make a significant impact for the kingdom with a special offering that will enable the Christian and Missionary Alliance to launch new ministry initiatives around the world. One of my favorite images is found in the book of Revelation. In Revelation chapter 7, verse 9, the Apostle John wrote these words, "After this I looked, and there before me was a great multitude that no one could count, from every nation, tribe, people, and language, standing before the throne and in front of the Lamb." The picture we are given is of people from every corner of the earth engaged in worship. That's what Great Commission Sunday and our emphasis on missions is all about. God's heart is to see the nations worship. How will that look? This video gives us just a glimpse, so take a look and let it encourage your heart today.
So the purpose of Christ in redemption was not to save us from hell primarily, but it was to save us unto worship, that we might become again worshipers of the living God.
Creatures of our God and King, lift up your voice and with us sing.
Thank you for joining us today for Village Church Connections. Have a very blessed day.
We're glad you joined us for today's show. Tune in tomorrow when we learn what an authorized vendor is and why they help to keep you safe at Shell Point. Until then, this is Shell Point Today for Thursday, June 5th. I'm Dan Philgreen, and from all of us here at Shell Point TV, we hope you have a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow.